All right, so this is one of those, I'm not even sure how much is actually going to get filmed doing this kind of project, so this will probably be sometimes my stupid ideas, but I figured I would give you guys a look at hopefully where my stuff will be going. This is a little workshop that my dad built for me quite a few years ago, and over the years after I moved out, it kind of got taken over by my dad, which is totally understandable. He had a ton of Corvair parts in here and things like that. But the thing is, now that I'm back down, he has a lot of stuff, I have a lot of stuff, and we're kind of going to be going through things to be like, okay, what do we need to keep, what do we not need to keep? But the current plan is, this right here was recently built, because originally there was a lathe that I'll show in a minute that was sitting here. So this got built for the laser. Obviously, we need to figure out how to run venting and all that crap, and we'll take care of that. Then we have some more room here. And then we have the CNC mill that I built years ago and bought off an old coworker slash friend of mine. And then, oh gosh, what do we have over here? We have my tool chest, which is an absolute nightmare. Down there is a whole bunch of free spray cans and tools and stuff. Doesn't really matter. Then over here is like this weird mixture of like my stuff, my dad's stuff. We have some Corvair engine parts, never got used, like spares, because he had multiples. So needless to say, this has become my new project. So videos are kind of slow, and your orders take a few extra days to ship. I'm sorry, but this is what's going on behind the scenes. So I do have to hand it to my dad, because the original plan was temporarily I was going to be setting up the laser over in his editing shed thingy over there. And then we're still talking about it. Obviously, this is one of those things where time will tell, but then the plan was we were gonna get like an old trailer or something and set up over here, and I'm like, well, the problem is those things they're a piece of crap, to be perfectly honest. And you also have this giant tree, so God forbid a branch falls down or something, that'd be a problem. So I was suggesting more like a shipping container. And then my dad decided to do the shed thing for the moment, which I am super appreciative of. Also, you can see his, wrong way, Pinto station wagon with a Ford Turbo Coupe engine. The, which one's that? That one the Studebaker, I think it is? Yeah, that was the Studebaker, because he got rid of the Rambler years ago. His the super YouTube famous Corvair, and over there's his Valiant. So there's that. Okay. Oh wait, what is it? This one is the Studebaker. I should know my dad's cars better. And then there's that one there. But point is, I have a lot to do. My dad has a lot to do. So also keep your eyes out, because there may or may not be a hey. Anybody in XYZ area interested in XYZ item? We're having a yard sale slash giveaway slash whatever. I don't know on that, so I don't want to definitively say, oh yes, this is going to be happening, and then it doesn't. So whatever, I'm going to quit talking, because that means I'm not getting things done. So as for me, I'm going to get busy. Okay, so here's the update on things. My dad said, why aren't we doing a video on this? So that was all the information I needed to, fire up the camera. But this is where we're at. So this is approximately where the laser's gonna live. It's probably gonna get slid over a little bit more, because we have the protective cover on the end for the proper 40 watt tube. The chiller here is going to go somewhere underneath here, and we are currently working on, it is way dark, but we have our exhaust fan here, which is going somewhere in this area. So don't expect a lot of updates on that, but we're making good progress. So I am absolutely stoked.
I may have to pound it in once I get the threads. It's a self-threading, self-tapping.
We're making regular bolts pretend that they're lag bolts.
Yeah, but this is to hold your fan. It needs,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not a lag bolt kind of thing. All right. Be an issue.
The ends of the threads were totally gacked up, and that's the reason why I buy hardware. Oh yeah, like a glove. Alright, so here's where we're calling it strictly for today. So obviously we have the laser installed. I still need to hook up the chiller and everything like that, but what we were working on in the video was this. It's the bracket that it sits on, but it also, it slides out further if the door is not in the way. But the idea is I can move this out far enough that I can access the fill port right here, and it makes removing the chiller, should I need to, do maintenance, replace it, anything like that, a lot easier. And then the nice thing is there's still a ton of storage space underneath there. So making progress, but as of right now, I need to work on getting the resin printer, which is this guy right here, up and running, because you guys still love buying my cranes, which is super awesome. So I gotta get some of those started. All right, I'm filming this with my phone because I loaned my GoPro to a friend of mine, and it is currently in Ireland, which is super awesome. But here's a mini update on things. So I threw up some pegboard over here. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep it like this or if I'm going to put more spray cans on it. That's a fraction of the spray cans that I own. It's kind of insane, but they do come in handy. So for the moment, my milling machine is still living here. There's still stuff in here because obviously it's still a work in progress. But when I need it, I've been pulling out the resin printer, and it and its accessories have been living down there for the moment. That's not their permanent home, but it's working, so I'm happy with that. Laser's over there. It's operational. It's cranking out stuff. I'm super stoked. And then down here we have my air compressor that I got off my old job and my dad's little air compressor. And then finally, I've got this over here. These were bins that I had originally hanging up over the laser cutter. And it's nice because I have various pre-cut laser kit components in here. So the nice thing is I don't have to run the laser every single time I need a part. I can run out to here and go, oh, okay, I got an order for some cranes. I've got you covered there. I've also got random detail items like barrels and some hit and miss engines that I had printed. But the point is, I've got that there. And then going down, I just have things like my welder, which I will eventually do a video on. I'm going to get rid of that bench buffer and just some other random stuff. So that's where things are at. But obviously, I need to haul more crap down. Oh man, it feels weird doing this selfie filming thing with my phone. But the one thing I do have to say is definitely credit to my dad. He, for a while now, has been talking about getting rid of stuff, and I'm always like, there's things I need to get rid of. And we're both kind of in the same predicament of the fact that it's like a lot of what we have. In his case, it's Corvair parts. In my case, it's train stuff and equipment. It's not just stuff that you can go, oh, okay, it's a couch, I can just get a new one when I get down there or something like that. This is very specialized, hard to find, expensive stuff. So you kind of get where that's going. So I do have to hand it to him, though, for being willing to either move things around or just being like, I've had this for years, I don't need to keep it. So kudos for that. Definitely long term, though, we're going to see what we're going to do with this. There was talk about, for things that don't get used as much, like the milling machine over there, seeing if there's a way to set that up somewhere else. We'll see. For certain things like the resin printer, I am super careful about where that goes just because of the fact that it is somewhat messy and I don't exactly want to contaminate everything potentially with slightly nasty resin goop. So we'll see, but I'm perfectly fine with pulling it out as needed. It's not like it's running 24/7. It's not at that point yet, and I don't see that. But if it does, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So that will conclude this video. The next video, I will hopefully have the GoPro back. And yeah, we'll see what happens from there.